What is up, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of the Border City Kids. I'm your host, Bryan, and tonight we have a special treat for you. This was I guess I didn't really put too much of a commercial towards this, or I didn't give advertisement towards what I was doing tonight, but tonight we have the OG of the Border City Kids joining us live tonight. I'm going to give him most of the attention tonight because we are going live with an episode going over the World Series this year of the Toronto Blue Jays against the LA Dodgers. This guy was here live at the Scotiabank Arena for Game 7, and he's going to talk about his experience tonight. And I'm going to bring it over to the one and only Colin, the legend of the Border City Kids. Please welcome him tonight to the Border City Kids podcast.
Well, I really appreciate it, Bryan. I appreciate being on here today. I think what it comes down to with the Blue Jays this year is I think the one thing that people would talk about is just how it united Canada as a whole. I think throughout the season when they started, they didn't have a whole lot of expectations, not making the playoffs the year before. Once it hit, the end of May, they were starting to upscale a little bit. But I think at the beginning of May, I think they were 26 and 28. They were a little below.
Yeah, they were below. Yeah, they were below.
I think people were, they had they saw some names on the roster that honestly not a lot of people knew a lot about, and that's okay. Sure. And then I think the end of May happened, and they kind of in June and July they went on a bit of a hot streak.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And then again by July, I think July on is when people really started to invest.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
So I know, and as a Detroit Tigers fan, the season was starting out just wonderful.
It was.
Things
for your Tigers,
were just great, and for me personally, as a Detroit anything fan right now, you know what? When things start well, they don't end well. And if I remember some of our conversations, I'm like, the Tigers aren't going to make the playoffs, and they stumbled into the playoffs this year, barely even making it. Personally, I don't even think they deserve to make it because they needed tennis rackets to even hit a baseball. But after watching the World Series, I have a great respect for Toronto. I have a great respect for LA, obviously winning. But I saw it in a totally different light, as Detroit had no chance against any of these teams because these teams could hit a ball, they could play baseball, and they jived well as a team. So
and I would comment a little bit on Detroit too. I think the previous year in 2024, the Tigers had an exceptional year. I believe they beat the wild card.
Yeah, they beat the wild card.
I think it was Houston that they beat.
That's right.
And then they made the next round, and they were exceptional.
Yeah.
They had some guys on the roster that people knew, but they also had guys on the roster that people were just kind of figuring out.
That's right. But they were getting hot at the right time.
They were,
which is huge.
And
right?
I think that's so exciting about baseball is, you have the unsung heroes that kind of come through, right? So
for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Tigers ended up squeezing into the playoffs, and them winning the wild card round was exceptional in itself for the second half of the year.
They beat Cleveland, but honestly,
two good teams. I mean, the Tigers were still a good team.
They were good teams, but it didn't even matter because you could see that the Blue Jays, especially, I would say 2/3 of the season, were very steady in how they played. They were hot the whole season. LA was not. Like Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee was the top of the other conference, right? Yeah,
and in a way, the LA Dodgers sort of remind me of the Florida Panthers in a way, because the LA Dodgers, they still had a good year. That's not but I think halfway through the year, towards the end of the year, people were thinking, they would have by far the best record in the league because, they have some star players. But I truly think they remind me of the Panthers. They have the star players, but they exceptionally show up in the playoffs. And I think that's what we saw.
They know how to perform
this year. In all the rounds. But I will say that the World Series was closer than I think a lot of people would have expected it to be. And I think it was good. I think the Dodgers are, on paper, probably the best team.
Yeah. Paper and money, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they, on paper, for sure, I would say you look at their lineup and you look, wow, who's going to beat them, right?
For sure.
But I think in all, I think the way the Jays played in the whole World Series, they came exceptionally close. very
man.
close. They had it in their hands to win it.
Definitely.
But it was one of the best World Series, I think, probably a top 10 World Series in all of history.
As a third party, I would say it was one of the top
Yep.
World Series that have, especially going into extra innings in Game 7. It doesn't get any better than that. So
yeah, and I think going back 25, 30 years, this is probably top 2 World Series of all time in the past 25 to 30 years.
It was great.
Yeah.
Pretty entertaining. Not the way that Toronto fans were hoping to end the season. I know it's tough to get over it, but at the same time, it's like you guys had an excellent season.
Yep.
Nothing to be ashamed of by any means. You were right there, 2 outs away. Next year, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say with a lot of confidence that next year, there's a possibility that they could return. And to say that is I mean, the team's got to be, a full-out team to be able to say that. And I think everyone saw this year that they are a full-out team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They jived pretty well. So before Colin gets into his Game 7 experience and going to Toronto and everything with this, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe to this podcast. That would be great. Hit the like button. Share the show to people you know, because I know a lot of people in this world were following this series because it was huge. A lot of people in Canada were following. Half? What was it? Half?
I think it was 45, 46%.
For sure.
Yep. 18.5 million. I think it might have been close to that at least.
For sure.
Yep.
So please subscribe to this podcast and share the show. We appreciate it. And I'm going to let Colin do most of the work tonight, which is great for me. But you know what? You got to live this thing, so I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
And as much as it was upsetting or disappointing in the end, I still think that they deserve recognition for their season for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, to get started, we kind of knew on the Thursday night we were like before Game 6, we were kind of like, we kind of wanted to go for Game 6 on the Friday night because, it was a chance that they would win it all. Things didn't really work out to go on the Friday night, so we said, you know what, if they make it to Game 7 and they end up losing Game 6, then we thought, okay, well, at least we have something to look forward to for Game 7. So that's kind of why we decided to go Game 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we took the GO train down. It was, the minute we got on the GO train, there was obviously Jays jerseys everywhere, and that was exciting. And then we wanted to go out for dinner before the game, so we tried to look into a few spots downtown. There was essentially nothing available in the downtown core at all. So we went to a nice taco spot a few kilometers away from the arena, which was nice. So I would say walking into Scotiabank Arena to watch a Jays game was, first of all, it felt really neat. Like, it just felt like as you're walking to the game, you're lining up to get in.
For sure.
It almost to me, it felt like I was going to a Jays game.
Absolutely.
I would say.
And you have the city totally buzzing, and it's and for me, I remember telling some Jays fans, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but it was Halloween and people were dressing up as Jays players, and I remember saying, you better hope Toronto doesn't lose 2 in a row to the Dodgers, because the excitement was there. And I get the excitement, but I get this feel that it was like, we have this in the bag, and it's like, you guys are playing a team not only bought and paid for, but there's a very good chance these guys are capable of winning 2 games in a row, right?
Definitely capable.
And I was like, don't get too cocky about this, but be humble at the same time. Not to take away anything from the Blue Jays, but it was like, guys, I'm sure the feeling in Toronto was excellent, and
it was.
You're all on the same page, which is great, and it does well for Toronto. Like, businesses, everything thrive throughout this because it's a huge experience, just like a huge opportunity, right? To capitalize on.
No, for sure. And I think when leading up to the game in the city, I was there in Toronto during Game 6 of 2019 Toronto Raptors when they won and they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in that Game 6 to even make the finals. And at that point, that was the last time I've ever seen Toronto like that. I like that as it was leading into Game 7. I've never seen it anything like that before, other than 2019.
For sure.
So yeah, it was pretty neat lead up. For sure.
Okay, so what we're gonna go into here on our podcast, Colin's gonna lead us through just the quick lineups of each team. We'll start with the Blue Jays starting lineup.
I mean, Yeah, I think obviously respect to George Springer coming out. I mean, he's an exceptional player. He has a lot of history with the Astros. He's won a World Series. He's also been a World Series MVP. So to start out, they were looking good. Nathan Lucas, honestly, was an unsung hero. I think a lot of people got to know who his name was. And he just came up with timely hits, and he was just a really solid player.
Yeah, I personally never heard of him actually before this, but I don't follow this team, so I wouldn't know. But I got to know these guys over a couple games because it got really intense towards the end.
It did. Yeah.
Solid lineup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like having Vladdy had one of the best postseason experiences of all time with his average, his home runs, his hitting, things like that.
Home runs.
Yeah, I think he ended up with 8, I believe. 7 or 8.
7 or 8, for sure.
But his average being over 400 for that many games is quite exceptional.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bichette, having him back, not at 100%, was still huge. I mean, I think if the guy can bat for you, you have to put him in the lineup.
And the guy still cooked.
And he did.
He was cooking.
Addison Barger, also someone who came up, I believe he started with the Jays in the previous season, played some games, had some good games, but didn't play like full time. When he got up here full time, wow! Like what a left-handed bat to have in your lineup, and he also has one of the fastest arms in the league.
Yeah,
he has a cannon.
Yeah,
has a cannon. I mean, I don't think anyone can say enough about Alejandro Kirk. He was, I would say, like obviously Cal Raleigh had one of the best catcher experiences of a season of all time. But other than him, I think Alejandro Kirk was probably your second best catcher from this season. And then if you look at the bottom of the lineup, the one thing I'll say about the bottom of the lineup is all postseason, these were the guys who got it going for us.
For sure.
Varsho, Clement, Jimenez, these were the guys. And even Barger at points when he was lower in the lineup at times.
Yeah.
These were the guys that got it started for the top of the lineup.
Clement,
so,
right?
Clement, I mean...
Incredible.
Yeah. And again, another name that probably not a lot of people knew about outside of Canada. And everyone surely knows who he is now.
Yeah. Well done. And then
I mean, if you look at the Dodgers lineup,
we'll check that out.
I think, and you look at the Dodgers lineup, like
right
I
from
mean,
the get-go, there he is. Right?
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, like he's the best player in the world, and I think most people can agree with that.
Yeah.
The guy can pitch. He's a top probably 10 pitcher in the league.
Yeah. Personally, for me though, before this game started, when I heard that he was starting, I was like, you guys are going to lose this game. They were hitting him well in game 2 or 3?
I believe it was game 3.
They were on him, and how long did he last?
Game 3, I believe. It's when Vladdy hit the home run off. Or was it 4? It might have been game 4.
It was early, I know that.
It was earlier on.
But they were on him.
They were.
And I knew this was a bad choice, but he did not really do too much in game 7.
I mean, game 7, he got pulled early in the game. Like he let up 3 runs.
Yeah.
I mean, he only let up 3 runs, but I think it was through 2.5 or 3 innings.
Which is honestly, that's terrible for a game 7.
Yeah, I mean, but if you look at their lineup, like obviously Ohtani leading out, him being a power hitter and being your number 1 hitter is kind of scary.
Yeah,
honestly.
You have the famous actor Will Smith in the second spot,
and the greatest Canadian right now, Freddie Freeman. I mean, what an exceptional player. I honestly, I don't know him personally, but. From what I've seen in the media and seen online, he is just an exceptional person to even know.
For sure.
Mookie Betts had a bit of a rougher World Series hitting wise, but I will say he came up clutch in the last couple games.
Yeah.
His fielding was one of the best shortstops fielding that I've seen in a playoff run.
Yeah.
And then you look at Muncy. Obviously, he came up with that big hit.
I've never seen it. Well, I have seen a ball crush that hard before, but he absolutely dismantled that thing.
Then. Like
8th inning?
8th inning. And then Teoscar, obviously, like a lot of lead up him. He played on the Jays for had to have been 4 to 5 seasons.
Yeah, that's right.
Close to it. And he was loved in Toronto. He was a great player for us. Lots of good things to say about Teoscar. So I know that he was excited for this series. And then the bottom of their lineup. I mean, Tommy Edman had a couple hits. Kike Hernandez. I think he is now the leading Dodger in playoff appearances.
Yeah.
He came up with some timely hits, and obviously Rojas came up with the big hit.
Kike, though, game 6.
Yep.
The catch in the field and then through to second base.
Yes, to end the game after the lodge ball experience and whatnot. That was huge.
And then Rojas. Man, to catch that ball. To catch that ball.
Yeah, Rojas came up clutch in the game 6 and 7.
Man.
He played Played very
incredible.
Well. Yeah.
So Colin's going to lead us through some of the big plays of the game, and I think we got them in order. So I think, and you were at Scotiabank Arena for this, and the crowd was probably absolutely intense.
Yep.
They were excited.
Very.
And especially with the way the game was going, it was over.
For sure.
It should have been over, but we saw the Dodgers claw back. But Colin's going to lead us through exactly what the feel was like, what the vibe was like at Scotiabank Arena, what the emotions were like, how people were reacting, what you were thinking as this was going along. And I know that you had to have been thinking that this was over at some point because you were 2 outs away. But you're going to lead us through that, and I'm just going to go through the pictures, and you can just describe kind of what's going on as you go through that.
Sure, yeah. So we'll start out, obviously, we just went through the lineups. I think the first picture just kind of stands to being a Blue Jays fan, after Vladdy signed the huge contract, the 14-year, $500 million contract, obviously one of the biggest contracts in Jays history, and even MLB history.
I think
huge. It is. I think throughout the season, he had a really good year in 2024. He was kind of the standout player for the Jays. In 2025, I feel like he kind of changed his approach a little bit at the plate. He didn't hit as many home runs, but he hit for very good average. And I think it all matters that he was just trying to hit the ball for hits instead of trying to hit it out of the park, right?
For sure.
But in all, I can't say enough good things about Vladdy being a leader on the team. And I think also his defensive awareness, his defensive abilities at first base goes unnoticed in the MLB because everyone thinks of him as a hitter. But if you look at some of the plays he made at first in the playoffs, he is he could be a Gold Glove first baseman.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's an underrated part of
How old is he now?
I believe he's 26.
Wow.
26.
So he's got a lot of time left.
He's got a lot of years left.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
I personally, for me, I'm not a huge fan of the huge contracts and the amount of years. Do you think he's actually going to stick around that long?
I do actually. Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I think he'll stick around. I think Toronto is the spot he wants to be, and he came so close to winning it this year that I think he believes they can win it.
Man, I'll be 50 years old when he's done with the Blue Jays, which is pretty incredible.
He's the captain of the team, and I think he's the leader, and I think he loves Toronto. Right?
I sure hope he loves Toronto for 14 years.
Yeah, it was a 14-year, $500 million.
Wow,
over
that's
14
incredible.
Year. Yeah.
I mean, by watching, I'm not going to lie, he's great. He's one hell of a hitter.
And a great fielder.
The plays the catches the double play.
Yep. Oh, and then the dive at first base.
I'm like, man, I see these plays that the Tigers are making, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Incredible. Okay, let's check out the next picture we got here.
Yeah, I think
the legend
Max Scherzer. I mean, I think you can probably speak on him a little bit as a Tiger, a little bit beforehand.
Well, you put him and Verlander in the same basket, right? Just totally shut down whoever they're playing. You could always count on them for a win. The Tigers this year, their pitcher was Skubal, and when you look at the playoffs, how Skubal did, he had no run support, so he lost. I think every time they played against Seattle in the whole season. So if your team doesn't show up to hit, you can't expect an ace pitcher to win, which is really unfortunate because Scherzer's been around so long. He's built quite a name for himself. But when you don't have the run support, as a pitcher, I would be totally frustrated with the team I'm with. But he had a good game. How many innings? He went
I think he went 5
innings, right?
I think he went 5 innings.
I think he got pulled just before the fifth.
I think he agreed when he got pulled.
He was
as
good
well.
with it. Yeah,
he was good with that. I think he was content with
Yeah.
how he pitched, and obviously, he pitched very well. I think one of the things, obviously, he had a lot of very strong games. That one game in the ALCS against the Mariners, that was an exceptional game. I think he went 6 innings, and I think that was the series where John Schneider came to the mound to try to take him out.
Oh man!
And he basically said, "No, I'm not coming out." And that he has this, and he ended up striking out. He ended up striking out the next batter and then finishing.
So he was pretty much the coach at that point.
But I think that's the belief in John Schneider too, to keep his guys going. I think
he trusted him to stay in.
That was big.
Yeah.
And then I think the other underrated thing about Scherzer is just all the experience. The guy, I believe this was his 5th World Series appearance, and I think he's won 2, or has he won 3? It's definitely 2. I believe it's 2.
You have to check that one out.
Yeah, I believe it's 2. But I think it's just the experience of the roller coaster.
Was it Washington?
Washington, and Texas. That's what it was in 2023.
Yeah, Texas.
So I think it's just like I think obviously he's still a great pitcher.
Yeah.
But I think it also speaks to the clubhouse presence of him and all of his experience for a relatively younger Blue Jays team.
Yeah.
Not young, but younger, I would say.
But he still
Jays
got along
team.
with everyone. And
and I think
teammate.
his mentality, everyone could come to him.
Yeah.
I think for especially the pitchers. Savage is one of them, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's got some words of wisdom, man.
Not enough good things about
41,
Scherzer.
man.
Yeah.
And look at those eyes. Those eyes always.
Yeah, he's intense.
I know he's got the two-colored eyes.
In a really good way. He's intense in a really good way, and I think he kind of kept the guys going through the playoffs.
It always surprised me that he actually went to Toronto after being with Detroit.
Yeah.
But that's just because that's a rivalry.
Yeah, it's a bit of rivalry here in southwestern Ontario.
But he did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check out what we got next. Oh, there he is.
I mean, I think Shohei, obviously, we had talked about earlier, like the guy can pitch, the guy can hit. Probably the best overall hitter, I would say, in the league.
Yes.
If you're looking at power, average, consistency, things like that.
And he put up one of the best recorded MLB games by pitching and hitting. Didn't he have
he did.
What was it? He pitched and then he had like 2 or 3 home runs.
Yeah, I believe it was game 4.
3 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, game 4 of the ALCS against Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was 3 home runs and he pitched 6 innings. I think he put close to 10 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, like when they named him to come on the mound for Game 7, I think, you're like, wow, like this is going to be tough, just like it was in Game 6. But I think that they got to him a little bit.
And honestly, for me, it felt like it was a bad choice to put him on. I don't know why, but I just remembered how well they were on to him, and they were on to him in Game 7.
Yeah, and I think they announced before Game 7 that he would be pitching in Game 7 at some point, but they didn't know whether he'd be relieving, starting, or closing. So they ended up starting him.
I mean, you use everything you got when it's Game 7. You're not playing again, so you
your
can
last
throw
chance,
it.
right?
Yep, that's exactly what you got. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you talk about this moment because I'm sure this is memorable.
I think when we were inside the arena I was personally, Bichette is personally my favorite Blue Jay. I think he's been my favorite Blue Jay for definitely like a good chunk of the years he's been on the team. This year he had an exceptional year. He batted, I think it was 311, 18 home runs, 94 RBIs. He like up until he got injured in New York in early September. I think he actually ended up being 181 hits as well in the season, and he didn't even barely play in September, which is really incredible. So he was looking at 200 plus hits throughout the season. He, at this moment, so I was wearing the Bichette jersey. I felt super proud. When he hit this home run, I think right the sound that he hit it off at, that ball was gone. And I think everyone in the arena, everyone in Rogers Center, everyone watching TV, the way he swung it, you knew it went dead center field.
Oh, right away.
It was the deepest part of the ballpark, and it hit the second deck of the ballpark. He
clobbered it, man. It was great.
Yeah, and I think that home run, I know that people are giving kind of comparisons to Springer's home run in Game 7.
Yes, that's right.
That was one of the biggest home runs in Jays history, too, to send them to the World Series.
And I feel like it would have been one of the biggest hits in Jays history if they would have held on to
I think at the time, because Bautista's home run, everyone knew it was gone.
For sure.
Bichette's also, everyone knew it was gone, and it kind of gave me a similar vibe to the slow walk. As well.
Exactly.
Like both of them did that.
Yeah. You felt that the game was over, in my opinion.
Both were like they were giving the Jays a lead. So, and we don't know at this point, that may have been his last best swing for the Jays. Potentially, he's a free agent.
You think so? You think he's actually?
I mean, I think he is going. I think he will sign with the Jays after everything that happened this year.
I'd hope so.
But again, nothing more than good words to say about Bo. I think he and the last thing I'd like to say about him is that he is a regular shortstop, and he went into playing second base.
Yes.
And that's not as easy as it sounds to do. Yes. Especially after coming off the injury.
That's right. And we got a comment here saying the Blue Jays definitely made Canada proud.
Yep.
Yes.
100%. 100% proud.
Yes.
100%.
We got a couple other comments saying Vladdy and Bichette, just kind of repeating the name. There's not much substance to that comment. But thanks for commenting on the show.
Yeah, no. Bichette,
Yes.
I think that that comment is right, though, about making Canada proud.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. We are going to take a look at the next one. And this
Yeah,
kind of
I think
follows
that
up.
kind of speaks as to what I was saying earlier about the walk. He knew it was gone. Shohei knew it was gone.
I was going to say, look at Ohtani's face.
Yeah,
there.
I think everyone knew it was gone. To go up 3-0 right away, I think that was the third inning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
that
it was over. I thought it was done.
I think at that point the game was long from over, but I still think that gave us a really good start.
For sure. Okay.
It was electric. And I think that the happiest moment during the game was that hit.
For sure.
For people in Scotiabank Arena. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And this was just after
the celebration after.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think knowing that those two grew up in the minors
guys.
together
Yep.
and came all the way up through the ranks together, obviously the two better hitters on the team.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And they were firing the place up. Like those are your go-to guys
Those are your
on the
go-to
Blue
guys.
Jays, and
For sure.
the crowd was intense.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep.
so during this point at Scotiabank Arena, I guess,
Yeah.
what was the feel like at this point?
Oh, it was rocking. Essentially, it was rocking.
And how many people were actually at Scotiabank Arena right now?
I would
during
say, I know that the arena fits close to 20,000, but there was a few empty rows close to the floor because they had the Raptors floor out at the time. So I don't think they wanted people too close. I bet you there was 17-ish thousand there.
Okay, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just for a watch party too.
That's sweet. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
And it didn't even really matter where you sat
Yeah.
either because they had it on the jumbotron.
Yes.
Yeah, you could kind of see from every angle.
Yes.
Which is nice.
So there was an interesting moment during this Game 7 that you rarely see, and I honestly didn't think this would happen. But unfortunately, this had to happen, and we saw a couple inside pitches that led to this. And I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
I think when I was watching it live, the first pitch came inside. That's okay. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
The second pitch came inside, and then I know that Jimenez kind of reacted a little bit.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna yawn quick. Anyways,
What's
quick yawn.
No. What do you mean by they reacted though?
I think Jimenez.
I've seen the video.
A bit of a reaction. But
what do you mean by reaction, though? I'm just curious.
I just think the flinch after he almost got hit the second time, the flinch away. When I watched it back again, he almost got hit, and I know people are trying to say maybe he was trying to get hit.
Well,
it's hard to say.
What do you think? I've seen the video.
Yeah, I think in real time, I didn't think he was trying to get hit.
Yes.
At the time.
At the time, agreed.
And then when the third pitch came, I do think that was.
It was very inside.
Oh yeah.
Right. I think don't think.
Yeah.
As much as he may have wanted to sell it, I think it was inside. It wasn't like a strike or anything.
No, it definitely wasn't a strike.
Yeah, it was inside.
So yeah, when he got hit, I think everyone at Scotiabank was actually sitting down before he got hit. The first two pitches, people were like, whoa,
Yeah.
But when he eventually got hit, that was one of the moments where everyone stood up because the bench is cleared.
I saw the reaction. Well,
yeah.
I watched a video before you were over here, and he goes into detail on this specific player, Jimenez.
Yeah. Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez. And I guess he has a history of leaning into...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And I thought this was pretty interesting because he's done this tons of times. He actually got hit by a pitch that was a strike once.
Oh, I
because he
didn't know
leaned
that either.
so far into it and really sold
okay.
it. I had no idea this happened. That being said, I'm not going to take away. I think that pitcher was going to get hit by regardless because it was very inside. And I saw the exchange that took place, and I thought it was kind of funny the way the guy the person I follow on Facebook was describing it. It was pretty funny.
Yep.
But this led to a bench clearing almost brawl, I guess.
Yeah.
But it got tense. But there was also a secondary meeting out on the field as well that most people didn't see because
you couldn't really see it on the TV.
They didn't cover it. The cameras didn't go there.
They did, you could see in the background the reaction of people kind of running out to the shortstop
area.
Yeah,
and that was Hoffman, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Hoffman.
Yeah.
He said some words to a couple of the guys on the Dodgers, and that led to something else happening. And then I know Schneider was like, "I'm just holding guys back" or something like that. And he was, and that's
and I think the heat of the moment
manager.
too. I think the heat of the moment of that part of the game. The Dodgers are losing 3-1. They just hit a batter.
Yeah.
He's now going to go to first.
Yeah, For sure.
And then they're turning the lineup over too. So I think it just kind of like a mix of emotions. But
yeah,
I think when you look back at it, if they were to talk about it now, I don't think.
Agreed. Yeah.
You know, I think either player, like I think it was Rabelski.
Yeah,
and then
Rabelski.
Jimenez, if they were to chat about it after, I don't even think it would be much of a big deal.
No,
I think it was just the heat of the moment of the World Series.
And it's surprising because this was such a long inning.
It was.
They didn't score a single run.
Right. Yeah.
Which obviously the game's already 3-1. Well, they had a line drive out to the field and it was caught, but they had a runner run in, right? That's what happened
did.
here.
Yeah.
It was a great catch.
Yeah.
Who caught that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I can't remember that one.
It was a great catch in the field, but
yeah.
Anyways,
to see a benches clearing brawl in Game 7 is very rare. I mean, there's a lot of rare things in this series, like the 18-inning game too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that really got the crowd going at Scotiabank for sure.
For sure. So this was the run that gave Toronto
the 4-2 lead.
Yeah, the 4-2 lead.
Yeah. I mean, Ernie Clement, I think we start out saying that I don't think many people knew who he was before this season. The other thing is he also set an MLB postseason record for 30 hits. Like 30 hits in a postseason is huge. He also batted over 400.
That's crazy.
And he has some pop in his bat. He hits just great line drive singles, but he can hit some doubles. He's hit some pretty clutch home runs throughout the year too.
For sure.
So not enough good things to say about him. And as well, I will say the fielding from this guy, he can play third base, second base, shortstop. He can basically play the outfield if he really needed to. And big, he probably deserved the Gold Glove for the utility player this year. I don't think he ended up getting it, but he could have gotten it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And then obviously, like the slide, the emotion that he's showing at that point in the game, it's
You're
later in the game.
Right? You hope that you can hang. That was a big
win,
and
I think the slide that he did kind of showed the confidence that the Jays had too.
Yeah, it's like this.
And I think for good reason. I think the Jays
were
deserved to have that confidence. Yeah,
for sure. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, so let's see. We have that, and I think that's more of the celebration.
Yeah, that's the celebration. Yep.
Yeah,
that's the celebration with Springer at home plate there, and obviously everyone's losing their mind. I think that was it close to the 6th inning?
Yep.
I think it was that they took a 4-2 lead. So that's pretty big.
Now, unfortunately for the Blue Jays, this would be the last run they actually scored, and that's why you see the fans. Started to get tense because in the 8th inning.
Yep.
Which player was it?
Max Muncy.
That's it, Muncy.
Yep.
Yeah,
in the 8th. Yep. In the 8th. I think the one thing, actually, the 7th was really tense already. Yeah, they brought Yosavage in, which I mean, in Scotiabank Arena, everyone was losing their mind. The fact that they brought Yosavage in, he pitched a big game in Game 5.
Yep.
But then they brought him in on only like 3 days of rest to come in and pitch in one of probably the biggest moments of his career.
Yep.
And unfortunately, he gave up a home run in the 8th. But the 7th inning was very close. They could have got probably a run or two in that inning.
Yeah,
he got out of it. So I think in the end you have to send him back there in the 8th inning.
That's what
I don't think that's I think that's a decision you make, and you live with
agree.
the fact that they hit a home run off of him.
I
don't think you can take him out in the 8th.
I agree. I think you leave him in, right, to try and close it. Get as close as you can to the end.
Yeah, because even actually people at Scotiabank, when he got out of the 7th, people said let him pitch the rest of the game.
Yes,
because he has the ability to do that, being a starting pitcher
for sure.
But yeah, when Muncy hit that home run, I mean that ball was gone off the bat
for sure,
and it really went silent for most of that rest of that inning. But then people were confident that we were still winning after 8 innings.
I mean, you're still up 1 run, which is absolutely huge because usually your pitchers are shut down when it comes to that. Usually they can come in. Yeah,
but he came. He had a 7th inning that was hard to pitch. He didn't give up any runs. He gave up 1 in the 8th, and he bounced back. So I think you're still confident at that point.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we move on to this, we're just going to take a couple-minute break, and we will be right back to finish this one off. We're going to get into the 9th inning, which is when things start to get a little interesting. So we will be right back. All right, we are back. Thank you for joining us again on the Border City Kids podcast. I have our special guest, Colin, here, who is one of the OG founders of BCK. This beautiful light behind me. He is one of the founders of this channel.
Border City Kids.
And we appreciate you being here with us tonight. So we have covered, I want to say, the first 8 innings of Game 7 of the World Series. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to jump into one of the most devastating stories you could hear, other than my tornadoes and hurricanes that you hear on When Nature Strikes. So, Colin, lead us into this beautiful display.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the ninth inning started, I think a lot of people were confident. Everyone was standing, everyone was clapping. You know, you felt good. The fact you got out of the 8th inning the way you did, still leading, and then you get into the 9th inning, they had their 8, 9, and 1 hitter up. I think right away, honestly, and no discredit to the Dodgers at all, but I think everyone in the arena, all they were caring about and all they were looking at was the third guy up in the inning. Was Shohei.
3 outs and Ohtani.
Yep. Like, I think everyone was worried about when he comes up. It was almost the assumption that they would just get the first 2 out. I think that was the assumption, that just how the game had played out and whatnot. So they got the first out.
And let's go into this. And this is the guy right here,
Miguel Rojas. So he actually didn't even play all of the World Series. I think he only definitely played Game 6 and 7. I can't remember now if he played Game 5.
Yeah, he didn't play too much.
No, he only played Game 6 and 7. I think it was maybe Game 5. Yeah. But honestly, like, veteran player, and it almost seemed like when they put him in the lineup, their team kind of changed. Like, when they won Game 6 and they won Game 7, he had a veteran presence to him I think kind of rounded and kind of calmed down their team a little bit. So when he came up, I think they were even it may have even been 0-2 count as well that they had on him. I'm trying to remember now.
Strikes.
I think they had 2 strikes.
Sure. I can't remember if it was 1-2, 2-2.
Yeah,
I want to say it was 2-2, but I might be
maybe
wrong.
It was. I definitely 2 strikes for sure.
Yeah. But I know Buck Martinez was out there, and he was calling the play, and he was like, oh, well, I think they're going to go for a 3rd strike on Rojas. So they gave him a good pitch, and then he hit it out. He hit it out. Yeah,
I think crazy. I think he, like, off the bat, I think he hit it, obviously hit it out, and you knew it was a good hit, but it almost didn't seem to me like it was going to get out, like, at first instincts. I thought he was going to rip it off the wall. I thought he was going off the wall in the corner, and it would be a double, which still would have been, like, good for them. But when it went out, I will say, when it went out, though, like obviously you saw what you saw on TV and the reaction, but being inside the Scotiabank Arena, everyone was standing like when this happened, because everyone was assuming they're
ready to celebrate. You thought it was over, and I agree, right? The game's over,
and people were feeling really good about it all
for sure.
But I think like when it went over the wall, it just went dead silent in that arena. People were sat down, who were standing. People who were sitting literally stood up. People had their hands on their heads, the caps over their faces.
Yeah.
People were honestly just shell-shocked. I was personally shell-shocked. See the number 9 hitter, Rojas, get that home run, I wasn't even thinking about him. Honestly, I was thinking about Ohtani coming up next.
Well, Rojas has never hit a home run off a right-handed pitcher the entire ball season.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So talk about timing.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, You were telling me about an experience you had with someone sitting
yes,
close to you. And I think our audience really wants to hear what was involved.
I think it was when the Jays got their fourth run. We'll kind of run back a little bit here, but when the Jays got their fourth run and Clement had the fanatic slide, as you will call it, I did get a bit of a shoulder rub from another Toronto fan. I think everyone was just so in the moment about what was happening. All right. Yeah. People were jumping up and down, flailing their fists, things like that.
Colin got a shiatsu massage,
and it was quite something. So yeah, no, it just like kind of just speaks to like the culture and how it brought everyone together.
Giving out massages,
but just the culture of the Toronto environment. I guess at the time,
rubbing those things.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Rojas though for sure. He, I mean, just even I think we get into it here very soon, but even just his defensive plays. But obviously that home run kind of stunned. It stunned everyone. I don't even think the Dodger fans thought this was going to happen.
Yeah. So they tied the game up. The inning ended. Nothing else happened. It's tied. We're going into the bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth was a story.
And Toronto starts to cook again.
Yeah. They've been cooking all year. They've been the comeback kids all year.
I was bracing myself because I'm like, this game is over. They need not even a base hit, just a pop fly to the field.
A sac fly.
Just put it out there somewhere. Yep. So I'm on the edge of my seat. And I'm going to let you describe what this picture shows.
I think this picture here, this is going to go down. This will be shown for years and years and years, especially if the Jays do not win the World Series in the next year or two, or the next 30 years.
For sure.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you never know.
So
right?
I think if they don't win it soon enough, this picture will probably haunt the Jays fans and things like that. Not that it's Kiner-Falefa's fault at all. It's not his fault at all. But I just think that the picture in general, just knowing how close they were, will probably haunt inches. Fans. But to speak on this picture, like Varsho is a pretty good fly ball hitter.
Yep.
So I was pretty confident at the time. 1 out, I was like, Varsho's up. I could see this guy putting it into the outfield. You have a decently fast guy at third. Because I think they actually pinch runned him too.
Yeah, they did.
In the ninth.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
So they already brought him in specifically for running. I was fairly confident that we were probably going to get this run. I think a lot of people in the building had that vibe. A lot of people at TV.
Sorry, the bases were loaded, right?
They had first and third.
You sure?
Yep, first and third.
I thought the bases were loaded and he hit a ball to
So they had bases
second
loaded
base.
Later in the game, in the 10th inning, the 10th inning, and they didn't score.
I thought the bases were loaded because he ran to ran to home because it was a forced play.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, he didn't tag him.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So you're right. It is. Yeah, no, you're right. It is bases loaded in the 9th. It was bases loaded.
Yeah,
yes,
bases were loaded. Yeah.
Sorry, it was first and third in the 11th. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, bases loaded. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's right. Yep.
Bases loaded in the 9th. So yeah, I mean, I think everyone was confident.
And this specific hit went to Rojas.
Yeah, and if you watch the replay really slowly, a really good pick. Because I mean, Varsho still hit the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
But he got the ball and then he almost lost his balance. I don't know if you watched the replay.
Honestly, Rojas for me, I thought he was going for a double play.
It almost looked like
I think he went, and then I thought he was like, "That ain't there."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh God, I have to throw this home, or else this game's over."
Or else it's over.
Yeah.
And he kind of almost like he double clutched a little bit, but he kind of like got the ball, gathered, was gonna throw it, and then kind of like leaned back a little bit, as if he lost his balance a little bit. Just obviously after all the replays that were going on, he did get him out. I think online, a lot of people have been talking about what the lead he had at third base and how it wasn't a large lead,
right?
But I think at the time it depends what the calls were made as far as the team were, because when you have bases loaded, you sometimes, and less than 2 outs, sometimes you have guys who will the team wants to play cautious.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get doubled up. So essentially, you have them
1
or 2 feet off the bag.
Yeah.
And who knows? I don't think we'll ever know. But what the call was he's supposed to be kind of holding on a little bit to third
for sure
to protect, or should have he maybe taken a bit more of a lead? I don't think you can. I don't think this is on Kiner-Falefa at all. I think depending what happened and what the play was called, I think that has to be made clear that it's not his fault.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah, because like you said,
and the really interesting part was Will Smith. Obviously, he had his foot slightly off the bag.
Yes.
So when he slid into home, there was a lot of people in Rogers Center with the TV thinking that they won the game.
For sure, I saw a whole bunch of different
because
videos.
why wouldn't you? It was so close that it did look like maybe he beat it out.
Yep.
And then in Scotiabank Arena, I would say some people thought about it, but I think a lot of people kind of saw the replay and the out very quickly, and then they kind of settled down.
Yep. 2 out. Yeah. Base is still loaded.
Yep, base still loaded after that. We have one more chance. Right?
And then do you want to explain what happened with that one? Because that was also quite incredible. I can't... what a play.
That one, actually, I mean, you have the guy up who you want up, Clement. He's hitting over 400.
Yep.
He had a couple hits in the game. Just solid base hits, like line drive base hits throughout the game.
Yep, there he is.
And when he hit the ball, honestly, the vibe in the arena was that it was just going to be a fly ball out.
Like, I thought it was a home run.
So to me and a lot of others, it almost looked like he wasn't going to hit it deep enough to where he even got it.
Yeah.
The way it came off the bat. And then you saw Kike Hernandez. He kept running back. For some reason, he was playing him shallow.
Yeah.
But I think I know why he was playing him shallow in a way.
Yeah.
Because if it was a blue pit, he would rather have to run towards the ball than run back towards the ball like they ended up doing.
Yeah. But Hernandez is the player from Game 6 who came up with the big catch and throw to second base and that ended Game 6 for the win.
Yep, and that would be in right field too.
Yeah.
So, he was and the minute the ball was hit, I wasn't like, oh, I don't know if that's deep enough. But then, as he kept running back, I was like, "Oh wow,
it's like going
far from the wall."
Yeah, it's going.
And who knows whether we don't know whether he would have caught it himself. But the way it was looking, I don't think
that ball was hitting the ground.
He may have caught it still, but
I don't think he would have.
But it didn't look like he was going to,
because he had to arch his back to the right.
Yep, and he was running kind of on his side with his arm out,
with his left hand.
Yeah,
and Pérez was a left-handed catcher who had to go to his left, which is a lot easier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was funny because when he was running, everyone was getting really excited because they didn't even see Pérez at first at all, right? And then all of a sudden, the last couple seconds, you see him come right over and basically take out his own teammate to save the World Series for them.
Oh man!
And then it's really interesting because he caught it and everyone was cheering for 5 seconds and then boom, he caught it and
stunned,
silent, right?
Stunned.
So, but it's really interesting because if you watch the replay again, when Hernandez drops to the ground, he goes down and looking like as if he may have injured himself.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason he went down.
No, I know.
He went down because he thought he lost the
game
World
was
Series.
over.
He thought he lost the World Series, and he didn't realize that Pérez caught it.
That's right.
Yeah, those two plays in the ninth, I think that's something that'll probably sting a little bit for Blue Jay fans as well. Like, I think you'll kind of think about those two plays.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go into one of the most unfortunate events that took place in the top of the 11th.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, at this point, both teams have good enough hitters to end the game.
For sure.
Straight up end the game.
Yeah, one hit.
But we were pretty confident with Shane Bieber coming in to the game. He had actually, they showed videos of him warming up before the game, hours before the game, in case he got called from the bullpen, and sure enough, he did.
Yep.
Great pitcher. I mean, can't say enough about his character with the team and
for sure.
whatnot.
Yeah, yep. He did well, real well.
And Will Smith, though, I will say, he kind of got better throughout the series.
Yes.
I know in Game 2 he hit that big home run.
For sure.
But this home run here, in the 11th, it stunned the crowd, and it almost made it seem like...
I think it stunned because Ohtani was up right before him,
yes,
right?
Yep.
Which that's who you're worried about.
Again. But Will Smith proved that he was a very good hitter in himself, and he has the stats to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely cranked it.
So
let me ask you, because he hit the home run. What was the feel like at Scotiabank?
I think it was
when you saw this.
Dreadful. I would say dreadful.
That's
when he hit it, because everyone's waiting. Because the other thing is, you're going into the 11th inning. The game, it's getting close to 12 o'clock at this point. People have been there since 7. People got there, an hour before.
Yeah.
And everything, all the emotions that had happened throughout the game. I think at that point, he hits the home run, and then you're like, wow, we literally have one more chance, and this season's over. Yeah. Right? So, it was devastating to watch it.
For sure. You're that close.
In the moment, it was devastating, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wild, man. And then to hear...
And then, obviously, the bottom of the 11th.
Yes.
The bottom of the 11th, too. That was kind of at the point where people were thinking... I kind of have to catch a GO train because there was only 2 GO trains left.
Oh, man.
Right? So when they had Kirk up to bat.
Well, how did the inning start off? Who was it?
They had
Guerrero.
Guerrero hit it. So it was funny because when Guerrero hit the double, we were walking from our seats down to the GO train / like Union Station / Scotiabank Arena kind of entrance.
Yeah.
So a lot of people did the same because they were worried about missing the GO train. So at that point, then you have people watching the TVs. So when we finally got down to the first level, he just finished hitting the double, and we've heard cheering and whatnot. Yeah. So we stayed. We had to we have to watch this.
Yeah, they're gonna tie it up.
Then he hits a leadoff double again. Leadoff double like
no
they
outs,
did in the 8th.
No outs.
Same thing, no outs. So they had the chances, and I think everyone knows that they had the chances.
Yeah.
And then they end up getting first and third with one of the most consistent hitters, fastball hitting pitchers. Hitters. As a catcher in the league, Kirk it's a guy who you would want up straight up.
Yeah.
Now he was facing an 0-2 count at the time, and he had to protect for hitting. Like it was probably going to be a strike, but it would be kind of on the outside corner. So he had to swing, and I just think at that point, like people had hope though. At that point, people had hope that they were first and third again, first and third.
Yep.
They only had to get 1 run to keep it going, potentially 2.
Wow. Yeah.
So he hit into the double play. Really good play by Mookie
So there were a
Betts.
few things that happened here.
Yep.
And
the bat broke.
The bat broke.
Yep.
He's the slowest runner in the MLB.
One of them, yeah. But he shows heart and hustle, so that's all that matters.
No, I get that.
But
still, he's one of the slowest runners in the major leagues.
Yep.
And double play ball.
Yeah.
Triple threat right there.
Yeah. But again, I think you have to recognize that he would be. I would pick him to be up in the exact same situation again.
For sure. But just one of the slowest. If he was a faster runner, Guerrero would have gone.
He may have beat it out.
Maybe I'm not sure.
But I think the way that Mookie Betts made the play though, like he did it quick.
Ran to 2 and threw to 1.
He didn't even have to toss it. He just made it really quick, and it was a really exceptional shortstop play. So I don't think you can take away too much from that.
No, and I don't want to. I'm just saying, like,
but yeah,
of course
I think
it's the slowest runner. And the bat broke.
And the bat broke. The bat broke, and obviously it stunned people a little bit, right? So yeah, I think, and it was interesting because right when he got out, people were also it was like a tug of war. You were kind of like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I have to get home still, but how do I process the Jays just losing that game?
It's over. So. Yeah.
And then obviously
one of the biggest studs in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Yamamoto.
I mean,
comes in after pitching in game 6. How many innings?
Game 2.
Yeah, I'm just
pitching
saying,
game
the night
2.
Before, right?
Yeah,
night
before.
6 innings, I think he went, which probably around 90, 100 pitches.
He was like
comes in, and he goes, 3 innings or so?
I think he went 3. I think he went 9, 10, and 11, I think it was.
Which, unbelievable.
I will say, like, even dating back to the game 2 experience, and then game 6, that is one of the best postseason pitching performances back-to-back that I've ever seen.
And they were hitting him still.
They were, and I will say in game 7 it was a little bit of a different feel because he was on only 1 day of rest.
Yeah.
The Jays actually got some hits off him, whereas in game 2, good luck getting a hit off him.
Oh,
game 6, he went the complete game.
Yeah,
game 6, again,
tough.
Good luck getting a hit off him. So
agreed.
I think, and the vibe too, when they showed him on the screen when he was warming up, everyone in the arena just knew. You just knew that
you're not anything.
This might be it.
Yeah.
Just because of how good he was, and he deserved the MVP. 100%
Agreed.
He deserved the MVP.
That was my pick too before they gave that.
I think most people, you'd have to say the pitchers. I mean, obviously the hitters had a couple clutch hits, but the pitchers, came up with some
for
big
sure.
plays.
So this is what we see, the World Series champs, LA Dodgers, after they turned the double play. Once again, devastating to the Blue Jays fan base.
Yep.
Devastating to
Canadians. I think Canadians in general. I mean, if you like the Tigers, but you're from Ontario.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the Blue Jays to win just because I feel like LA is paying for their way to get championships. And they were 2 outs away, guys.
The Jays were 2 outs away, yep.
Why does this have to happen all the time? But I knew as soon as Muncy, I think it was, hit his home run.
In the 8th,
Yeah, in the 8th inning. Something goofy was going to happen in the 9th inning, and it's so frustrating.
And it's unfortunate that they didn't score in the bottom of the 8th because Clement was on second with no out.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just unfortunate, and baseball is baseball, and it happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, but congratulations again to the Dodgers. I mean, they win back-to-back years. So the first time, I think, since their late 90s, early 2000s, too, that a team has won back-to-back years.
Yeah, incredible.
Super hard to do. And, I mean, their roster is exceptional. But I will say that the Blue Jays gave them way more of a run for their money than I think a lot of people expected them to.
Well, I think we can be honest about that and just say Toronto was the better team and they deserve to win.
Yeah, I think as a team,
I'm an outsider, so I have no bias towards this whatsoever.
Yeah,
Toronto had the hits.
They did.
Had the runs.
They had the defense.
Overall runs, if you add them up, I'm pretty sure Toronto had more runs throughout the series.
They did.
Now that doesn't matter because sports are sports.
Yeah.
But
they also had the better defense.
They were the more consistent team.
Except, I mean, the last game, the last two games, 6 and 7, the defense was great on both sides. But up to game 5, I'd say they probably had the better defense.
For sure. Game 1, though, holy.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Game 1 felt like ages
ago. Blowout.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk about.
And I think Vladdy, this picture is basically talking about how he, how he was the last person in the dugout, kind of watching the celebration. And it's funny because I've seen things in other sports like this before, and maybe either the next year or a couple of years after, that player actually ends up winning the title after watching another team celebrate.
Yeah,
and
true.
Those are some iconic moments. So he's going to be with the team another 14 years. We hope that the Jays can do it again, come this close again next year, if not win it next year.
For sure.
And I think just credit to the Jays for all their consistency all year. They never cared what anyone said in the media about, they didn't make the playoffs last year. They got 5th in the East. They're going up against the Dodgers. They have no chance. They didn't even listen to the outside world, and they just believed in each other.
Yep. I agree.
And just a collective group of exceptional people and exceptional baseball players. Yep. And I think the one thing that stood out for them was that they were all trying to win for the team and not going for individual stats.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to show that a team that, you have a couple stars on the team, but you might not have the biggest, flashiest names. I know Vladdy kind of is, but you might not have the biggest, flashiest names. You can still win it. You can still win being a team.
With a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I'm really looking forward to next year with the Jays.
Yeah,
I think a lot of Canadians are. And it'd be an interesting winter to see what happens with signings and things like that.
For sure.
But Shane Bieber has opted into his contract, so the next guy is Bo, in my opinion. Yeah.
So this picture here just shows Yamamoto winning the MVP award. Obviously he did because he stepped up and pitched 3+ innings after pitching the night before. Yeah, he deserved it. He shut him down and he did what he had to do.
In my opinion, he was probably the primary reason why we didn't win the World Series.
For me, and I know not for the whole season, but Rojas was huge.
He was huge too. The
catch at second base the night before.
Yeah.
The throw out at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, and this has nothing to do with Rojas. Do you remember when Toronto was going to bunt the ball and they smoked a ball at third baseman who was kicked in for the bunt?
That was Muncy.
He caught it? Muncy caught
it. That's another what if.
Right? Like, what if that ball gets by and drops it? And, man.
There's so many chances, but I think... Yamamoto, I think without question, was the MVP for them.
Just a lot of big plays, though, from Hernandez to Rojas hitting the tying home run.
And then the play he made at shortstop, second base.
Home.
Yep.
Oh, man. So I'm going to let you if you want to summarize the Blue Jays season, because absolutely they deserve the credit for everything they did this season. They outperformed anyone's thoughts or guesses and predictions for how they would do this season.
Yeah, they did.
And props to them as a Detroit Tigers fan. Well done.
Well, that's really good to hear that a Tigers fan would give them the credit for that. So that's really nice to hear. I think looking at that group of guys, I think the Jays haven't had a group of guys like that, and I don't know how long. I was a huge fan of the 2015, 2016 Jays teams that just about made the World Series, and that was a great group of guys. But I don't think I could put into words the type of players I guess we have in playing for the Jays.
I think you have a more cohesive team.
I think the cohesiveness is probably
together.
The best cohesiveness chemistry in the league, I would say at this point. I think they kind of showed that.
For sure.
But they won the AL pennant, and I think that's something to be proud of. Yeah. They're in the toughest division, in my opinion, in baseball. I think the AL East is the toughest division. I know some of the NL ones are also tough. But I think the AL East.
You got New York and Boston, right?
And even Tampa can be good. Yeah. And Baltimore randomly will have a good year. So they're tough to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it makes people. I think at the grand scheme of it is, you're kind of sad that all of this has ended, and you're sad for them because I think they did deserve to win.
Yeah.
But I think you have to think about the expectations going into the season and how they exceeded those, and how you just have to be a proud Canadian, and you can't be mad at the Jays.
For sure.
You can't be.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to next year.
Yeah. Colin's looking forward to the Maple Leafs now to see what happens this year.
We'll
Might not be the same, but they're doing all right.
They picked it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think
this week they picked it up. Yeah.
I think maybe not the same as last year, but things happen in the playoffs. They could go for a run.
Yeah. I mean, we're only in November, so you never know what happens.
That's right. Yep. So I am going to thank you for joining us tonight on the Border City Kids. I'm going to thank Colin here.
Oh, well, I want to thank you, Bryan, for having me on the podcast tonight, and it was really great being back on here.
Yeah.
Talking about something that I love. So
we're talking about the two OGs on the Border City Kids. Colin's going to make his appearance whenever he can if he's around. The distance right now is
it makes it tough.
Yeah, it makes it really tough to actually get this going. Personally, for me, I'm still covering hurricanes. I'm still covering tornadoes, natural disasters. It's a lot of work to do on my own. I'm going to tell you that. To come out with these episodes that come out every Friday, to do my lives every Thursday night, and now I'm going live every weekend. That's a lot of work. Yeah. On top of what else, my other job that I got going on right now, it's very difficult to do.
And just life in general. Too.
But I got to tell you, it's not like a hardship on me by any means. It's my hobby, so I actually like doing it. I've never done video before like this. When we first came out with this idea, it was in a living room or a dining room.
In Ingersoll, Ontario.
In the Saul of Ontario.
Yeah.
And the idea was to run a podcast, and our idea, and it was it mostly yours or mostly mine?
I think it was a bit
mutual?
of both. I think it was mutual. I'd say 50-50-ish. Yep.
Was to start a podcast. Yep. And I've never done video before, but I look at how far this has come around.
Oh, this has come a long way.
And I'm looking at the screen right now just to see what our video actually looks like, our feed looks like on YouTube. Now, I know I'm not really doing TikTok or anything else right now because it's just too much. But if you're here and you're joining in on our episodes and you're if you're subscribing, if you're liking, if you're giving suggestions on future episodes for me to cover, I greatly appreciate that. If you want to see Colin in more of these episodes, let him know in the comments, and we'll try and get him here as much as we can because I know he's more into the sports than anything here. But we appreciate you being here tonight. And on that note, I'm going to tell you I will be back Thursday for another live episode. Not sure what storm I'm going to cover, but we will have another episode out Friday. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Have a good night. We will see you later.